Can you enter the United States as a visitor with ESTA or a B1, B2 visitor visa? Can you enter the United States as a visitor if you are the beneficiary of a visa petition, if somebody applied for you? That is the topic that we're going to be discussing in this video. If you don't know me, I'm Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer who is truly passionate about helping you. I help people in all 50 states and around the world reach their immigration goals. Our firm handles things like citizenship, work permits, green cards, and everything in between. And this question we are handling today is one of the most frequently asked questions in my entire practice. Let's say, for example, that you're engaged to get married. Someone has filed a fiancé visa petition for you, the K-1 visa. The waiting times are absolutely horrendous. You're in your home country, you're waiting. Your spouse is back in the US missing you. You're on WhatsApp all day, all night, and you want to come visit her. So you have a visitor visa, and the question is, can you come into the US and visit? Is it advisable to visit? Is it going to screw up your immigration case? So let's get a few things clear. Anyone who has ESTA or a B1, B2 visitor visa or a Canadian can come into the United States as a visitor, right? Has the right to do that. But you're not able to exercise that right unless the person at the border or the airport, the immigration agent, permits you to enter. In other words, just because you have the visitor visa doesn't mean you're going to be able to get in. So why couldn't you get in as a visitor if you have a visitor visa? Well, there's something important that you need to know. No one is allowed to visit the United States as a visitor if they think that you actually have the intention of immigrating. Okay? So if you go to a consulate and you say, I want to apply for a visitor visa, and they say, well, why do you want to apply for a visitor visa? You say, well, I'm engaged to get married. I want to get a green card through marriage. They won't give you that visitor visa. There's nothing wrong with getting engaged to get married and wanting a green card. It's just you're not allowed to do that on the visitor visa. Visitors are allowed to visit the Grand Canyon, go to your cousin's wedding, go shopping, go to a national park, etc., etc., etc. It's a short duration and it's for a visit, okay? So if you are the beneficiary of an immigrant petition or a K-1 visa or any other type of case, it creates a conflict between what we call immigrant intent. So, right, if you're married to a US citizen and the US citizen petitioned for you, you have demonstrated by getting married and by being the beneficiary of that petition, you've demonstrated that you intend to immigrate, right? So when you get to the airport, there is this conflict between your demonstrated immigrant intent on the one hand and your claim to be just a visitor, okay? Now, as a practical matter, most people who visit the United States come into an airport and they say, what's the purpose of your trip? And you say, I'm here to visit. And they say, okay, great, have a good time, okay? And that's how most visitors are treated at airport. The problem comes when there is a pattern of travel, when you have traveled into the United States frequently, or you have stayed in the United States for a long period of time. If your pattern of travel starts to look like you have developed ties to the United States as a visitor, well, they're going to send you to a dark dungeon. That's right, a dark dungeon. And that's what I call deferred inspection. Deferred inspection, they're going to say, okay, go to window number 4 or something like that. And you're going to go down there. They're going to take your passport. They're going to ask you all sorts of questions. Where do you live? Where do you work? What's the purpose of your trip? Who are you visiting? They may even ask to inspect your phone. And the reason they're doing all this is that you don't look and smell like an actual visitor. You're somebody who they're not sure whether you're really visiting or that you might actually stay. and they want to make sure, and if they find out that you have a girlfriend who's a US citizen, or that you're married, or that you're the beneficiary of a petition, they may not let you into the United States. So sometimes people at this point in the conversation, they say to me, yeah, Josh, I get that, but look, I plan to emigrate, but on this trip, I'm just here for a visit. I know I have to go back to my home country and that I have to follow the consular process to a consular interview. I know all that, but here, I'm just looking to visit for a short trip. Can't you let me in? Well, first of all, I can't let you in because I don't have the authority. I'm just a lawyer, right? So my opinion of your situation is of no consequence. The only thing that matters is the dude at the airport who has the yay or nay authority to let you in or not. So what I usually advise clients in this situation where they're the beneficiary of a visa petition, takes a long time and they want to visit the US, here are the things that I advise. Scale down your pattern of travel. Don't come into the United States for a long period of time and don't come in frequently. Go light on the visitor visa. Pretend that you don't even have it most of the time. If you want to spend time in person with your significant other, do it in your home country or a third country, but try to avoid coming into the United States. Maybe you could come in once a year for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But could you come in twice? Maybe you could. Is it 3 times? I don't know. Like, I don't know where the line is. I don't know where the line is, but I think it's about your pattern of travel. You want to make sure also that you have and can document that you have ties to your home country. You're going to return. You have an apartment, a place to live, a house, a car, a job, all this sorts of stuff that shows that you're going back. So if you keep your pattern of travel light and you also document your ties to a home country, then I think you might be able to come in as a visitor and get through security. Now, a lot of the times, people who ask this question are beneficiaries of either a marriage-based petition or a fiance visa petition. If that's you, that's great. But what if you are not yet sure whether you want to get married or file the fiance visa and you're debating which one is better? Well, if that's the case, you definitely want to watch our next video, which talks about the relative benefits and drawbacks of these two visas.